several years ago, I was at a class, one of these classes, and afterwards a man came to talk to me, and a friend had sent him a podcasted talk, and he wanted to see if mindfulness could help him. And he was an IT executive. So his problem was that he presented, that he said, I'm incredibly impatient and harsh and critical of everybody. And it's really hard because it's, I get feedback from my employees and also from my wife and from my team. So can mindfulness help with that? So this is some years back, we met a couple of times. And so the basic thing I said is, when you get triggered, pause. And I invited him to go through a situation that recently where he had been triggered, and when he was feeling all the judgment and the anger. And I said, the first step of waking up these two wings is you have to pause. And this is for all of us, that the sacred art of pausing is a lifesaver. I've had AA sponsors say that learning the sacred pause is worth 2 years of meetings. And it's not an either-or thing, but it's amazing. If you can just pause, you get more access to your intelligence and your heart. So I said, pause, and then find out what's going on. Instead of doing anything, see if you can find out what's going on in those moments that you're feeling triggered, when you're feeling irritable and judgmental. And so when he paused, he said, okay, I'm believing that things are out of control, that they're going to go wrong, and I'm going to fail. It's like they're doing something, but it's going to cause me to fail. That was what he said. That's what he said. And then I said, and okay, and when that's going on, what's the feeling in your body? He goes, well, it's anxiety. It's like this clenched fist to my chest. So I said, okay, let's just do the two wings now. So you name that. Okay, anxiety, anxiety. That's the wing of mindfulness, recognizing it and naming it. And then the wing of compassion, just say yes, make space for it. Let it be there. In other words, don't try to make it go away. Don't do anything. Just let it be. So that was his practice. That every time he got triggered, that he could remember, he was to pause. Okay, what's going on? Feeling it, naming it, and saying yes. And he did it over and over and over again. He'd feel that rising irritation. He'd pause. He'd breathe. He'd name it. He'd say yes. And then sometimes he would say something that was harsh and judgmental, and sometimes he wouldn't. But he had a little more space, and with time, more and more space, which is, by the way, a very realistic way this practice happens. It's not like right away you unfold the two wings and, the trance dissolves and your crystal rainbows of light and, compassionate and the beloved, in form. It takes time, but it was happening. And some months later, he described an experience that he said was what made him commit to practice ongoingly. And he had a meeting with a project manager, and the project manager admitted that the team was behind schedule on a major project, one that was really, really important to this guy. And that the project manager also admitted that he had personally let some things fall through the cracks. So this is exactly the setup. Like, he felt the irritation rising, and internally he was saying, okay, angry, okay, anxious, okay, yes, be with it, feel it. And he didn't blow up. And in fact, he just got more there, and then they began to strategize on how to deal with things. And the manager was about to walk out the room, and then he came back to his desk and he said, I didn't plan on saying this, but I wanted to let you know. A few weeks ago, my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. And I have 2 teens, and it's a tough time. And the 2 men hugged. And he left the room, the project manager left the room, and the guy I was working with said that he had tears, and it was for this man, but also that he might have missed that moment. Do you know what I mean? If he had gone through his normal chain reaction, But learning to pause and bring these two wings to life came from a moment of human contact that was precious.